How's it going, everybody? This is another special edition, more defined world segment and everything today. We'll be interviewing Matt Robinson, who is the founder of 38109 Village. Which I can let him talk a little bit more about that. But today we're here talking about the Can I Ball Forever film showcase. Has a few short films that he'll be showing later on in the month and early December as well. And so, Matt, can you tell a little bit more about yourself and what the 38109 Village is?
Mhm. First thing, man, thankful to be on here. I'm more defined. Second thing is 38109 Village.
I got you. I got
38109 Village. Man, I'm born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. Started doing film back in 2023 after I graduated from Mississippi College down there in Clinton, Mississippi. Um, the base of the name of the film company, 3819 Village. It comes from the zip code I'm from. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Specifically, that area is a mixture of like Whitehaven, Westwood. Some people might say South Memphis, matter who you talk to, but any address from the age of 1 year old till now. Anything with Matthew, my real name is Matthew Robinson, not Matt Robinson. Matthew Robinson always had 38109 zip code to it. And because of my zip code, because the area I lived in made the person who I am today. So I just want to name my company. The main reason for Can I Ball Forever, the showing, the title for that is main reason is the prayer of athletes. A lot of people don't really understand the athlete's mind, to understand the unheard story, the battles of transition. So during this transition, when you become an athlete to a non-athlete, it's a lot of time when you kind of isolate yourself. And
you.
some nights when nobody else around you, it's a it's the only time you get the chance to pray. Because most times people can't handle being in silence. So some people pray. And the prayer, I feel that every athlete asks themselves, is, even when it's over, can I ball forever? Because it's hard to replace that feeling. So the reason for the name of the song, Can I Ball Forever, is that. So we will have it on November 29th and December 6th in Memphis, Tennessee, at 85 West Virginia Avenue at the Medicine Factory. Ticket be $15. The website is 38109village.ticketsprice.com. Get a ticket for $15. Come support and just understand the athlete mind.
All right, got you. So, um, how long were you athlete for, or like at least active athlete?
Active athlete, I'll say from the age of 9 years old until the age of 23. So
Okay, okay.
14 years.
So, mm, not too long ago that you quote unquote ended that active
Hmm.
streak and everything like that. Did you getting into the film side of everything? Did you feel the need to let this part of you open up a lot of like the work that you're trying to do in this space?
Um, yeah, I can say that. It After I got done with football, I had to find something, to replace it. You're gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
positive nigga that's gonna replace it. So before football ended for me, back in 2020 during COVID, I was sitting down home one day. I was watching Atlanta. I said, "Dang, this dude, can I write it?" My first time, I never been to like no school for nothing like this. Everything is kind of self-taught, and what I'm saying. I be laughing about it. I tell folks, no, I'm from YouTube University, so that's
Hey,
why I
that's
kind
real.
of
That's really real.
so that's why I learned everything from. And man, I looked up the script of Atlanta and went from there and just started writing scripts and practicing, practicing, practicing. I didn't make my first short film until 2023 after I graduated college, and it was called "Can I Get a Ride?" I acted in it, produced it, directed it, and wrote it. And just ever since then, been growing and growing. But during the time we was making "Can I Get a Ride?", me and my partner that do all my camera work, Black Hawk Visuals, aka Devin Martin. He's a big guy out here in the Memphis scene of high school sports. And man, we was talking, man. I was like, well, what we gonna do after this? Because I didn't want to, how sometimes you create a process, so you feel like I gotta do this, and then they don't never do it, or they don't have nothing planned
Mm-hmm.
after they get done what they was doing, what we was doing. 'Cause a common person did, can I get a ride? other film we did, I heard Mr. Legend and was stayed on it for 2 years. But as soon as they got done, while we was in pre-production of Can I Get a Ride, I was like, man, what we gonna do? What's gonna be the next film? So originally, originally the first film was Lightning, but Lightning originally wasn't gonna be a film how it was because 2 points it's a mockumentary.
Hmm.
So originally it was supposed to be a regular documentary. It was about our local friend because he was the athlete, I'm an athlete. We was gonna get this athlete that we knew and talk about the transition. Then one day I was rewatching Atlanta. I watched the season 4, episode 6. Goop that sat by the door. And I remember the first time watching it. I remember the feeling of it. Watching it, it was like, oh, I'm thinking it's real. Because this time I'm in college when it first came out. So I'm going on my phone like, ooh, ooh. Then I realized it was fake. But it made me feel the story.
Hmm.
So I said, well, what about if I could take that of a mockumentary and turn it into something more serious? Because that was a serious tone, but it still had its, the surrealism and everything in it. But now let me to the point make it more serious. So I sat down, me and my partner, we wrote like, and I was like, we gotta tell the true story. Because most times people tell stories, it's this, oh, it gotta be a happy ending. Sometimes life don't have happy endings.
Hmm. Yeah.
And with Lightning, that was the starting point. And so after that, after Lightning, we made Euthanasia. After Euthanasia, we made What I'm Gonna Wear. And what happened with What I'm Gonna Wear, originally What I'm Gonna Wear was one of the first scripts it was 2 scripts when I first came back home that I was gonna do. It was gonna be What I'm Gonna Wear and Can I Get a Ride? But Devin was like, man, Can I Get a Ride? So we did Can I Get a Ride? What I'm Gonna Wear, the original version was more different. It was still dealing with transition, but it was dealing from a transition from a standpoint of graduating college, just graduating college and peer pressure of finding a job and having the peer pressure because you have a degree. People think it's, oh man, oh, you're gonna have a great job. So what happened when we got to that to the athlete? I was like, man, I'm gonna change the script around what I'm gonna wear and build it around the athlete. And the last film that we are in post production and did, and originally was supposed to be part of the rollout, but it was so good and visual wise, we was like, man, we really need to put this in the showing, and it's called What I'm Gonna Wear. So those 4 films is based around that, and kind of got me into this spread around to, ooh, I gotta do this, this, and this, and this, and got me here now.
Hmm. So
Hmm.
currently, after the film showcase and everything, do you have anything else that you'll be in production for?
Um, yeah, I think what I'm gonna do this time, because each project I gave 100%.
Hmm.
But since I started, it's like I done overall. I said I had done about 8 projects since 2023. So, but I know for sure I gave 100% to each one. But now I think I need to set time aside, and I want to focus just on one. Focus on one film. Also working on brand, Daily Village, working on that as well. So I think going into 2026, Lord say the same. I will be focusing on one film. We still gonna have something 38109 coming out in 2026, and also clothing as well. But Daily Village, not 38109 Village Clothing, Daily Village Clothing, 2 different brands right
Hmm. Okay, I
there. Hmm.
like that. I like that. All right. So I got a chance to see two of the films, get some good notes on them and everything, and I'll basically
Hmm.
start and how I got on. The
Okay.
first film, Lightning. Can you tell me basically how long did that process take from when you sat down to write it or co-write it and everything, and then when
Hmm.
to like actually finishing the whole project?
Hmm. Originally, so it was in post production. Can I Get a Ride? That was in the spring of 2024. We started writing it by then. By September, we shot it. So it was about a 5 month span of doing it, 5 month span of creating it before production. Pre-production was about five months. We
Hmm.
wrote it. Okay, we said we're gonna do it this date, this date. We shot it over 3 days. One location. We rented an Airbnb out, a decent space to have people stay in and just come and do their interviews for the film. So it's about 3 days to do
Okay.
it. Hmm.
To get into the film for real, like you said, it's a mockumentary, but it's on the more serious tone of everything.
Hmm.
Um, and with everything that's connected to it with the athlete perspective, more in this lighting, mainly on football, at least for these films. I'm sure
Hmm.
once you get into other work, it'll be with other athletics as well.
Hmm.
But this film, it's featured mainly on the story of a football player who had like one life changing moment basically in high
Hmm.
school and wasn't quite able to really recover in a certain sense from it and everything like that. And so,
Hmm.
what made you feel the need to? Because I know you said earlier you kind of changed the script of this from how it was originally going to just be about kind of like an actual documentary style to where you needed to change it to like something like this to where it wasn't. Was this still kind of based loosely off of somebody that you knew, or was this kind of like a different line?
It's a mixture of everything. From people I knew, people, things, stories I heard. One of the biggest effects that made me write this script was, alright, so I graduated from Mississippi College in May 2023. I went on my first ever trip to Houston. I went to the Larry June concert. Good job, Larry. Concert. Went there. Man, I was sitting. I went with my partners. All them played college ball with each other, or coach college ball with each other. Man, we was sitting down. All them from Mississippi. So one of my partners, man, he was talking about his rivalry he had with another player in high school, and they was talking about how they used to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then so I was like, dang, you know what I'm saying? What happened to him? And like the room, the tone changed. So they went down the line with us, like, man, cuz went through some life changing stuff, had problems with girl, tried to he didn't kill himself, but he tried to commit suicide. And you could see the room stretch like that. It just went from laughter to a moment of like, dang, you know what I'm saying, what this gang could do to me. And just personally too, just for people I've seen in my life that was supposed to be the person that made it. Supposed to be the one
Mm-hmm.
that supposed to made out the neighborhood. And it doesn't. So what happens to them? They come back home and not in the best environment and don't feel the love. So they release themselves and do fun things that's not positive. And to a point, and some of them to the point they ain't dead physically, but they dead mentally or spiritually. So that's where kind of the basic came from.
I got you. I got you. So had a few interviewees on this. You had Malcolm or Coach G, uh, Lightning's coach. You had Bobby Cannon, who's Lightning's father. You have
Hmm.
Bubba Cannon, Lightning's brother.
Hmm.
Jordan Walter, Lightning's best friend and former high school teammate.
Hmm.
Tank Bolden, who's the rival in this scenario that you kind of just described and everything like that. And
Hmm.
then Lightning himself. Was there any particular reason why you felt the need to kind of show like a family element and then kind of like the best friend side of it too, and like the coach part for this film?
Yeah. So most times, man, you don't really. Sometimes some people don't have a tight. They have a tight knit group of people they deal with. It's a tight group. So what happens is I feel like we need to show the relationship of the player with outside of the sport. Or because to the point of when you get to the tragedy to the end, what happens, you hear these statements of what they say about him. And to the point, really think about it, this happens before Lightning commits the things that he do. But he doesn't feel that because he's not Lightning no more.
Mm-hmm.
He's John Cannon. What people got to understand about this is with the character because I started the character John Cannon. Like, quick note though, I really didn't want to be John or be like Ken. I did not want to be him. I was trying to be a director. Only reason I directed and like, I mean, acting the first couple stuff. First time, my partner he said, "Matt, you know the script, you need to do it." Second time, we just don't really ain't got the money like that. This time, I had somebody in mind. Coach G, who played Coach G, I wanted him to play lightning because he was a
Mm,
better athlete than me as a football player. But he said the role was just too dark for him. So we gave him Coach G. So, but John is this. John has dealt with so much in his life to the point not having childhood, raising his brother because his dad working all the time. To the point his mother's gone. He don't have the mother love. So Lightning is the superhero. He's the one that's protecting John from everything. He's the one like everything that he deal with, he can just deal with football and make it better. But as you know, Lightning goes away. So Lightning was here. John Cannon right here. Now Lightning gone. John's still down. Now John don't have Lightning no more. So in this process, it's just to show the dealings of of the athlete. Like people don't really understand. Like, bro, this is our superhero. Like this
mhm.
is the person that protecting us, and you take it away. So to the point, like I explain to people, are you a comic person
A little
or
bit.
read? Okay, so these ones you should know. So it's like taking Batman away from Bruce
Mhm.
Wayne in the first year. It's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
bat. Is no Batman. Is no Bruce Wayne because he don't know about it.
yeah.
He
Mhm.
care more about Batman than he care about Bruce Wayne. Even to the point like this. Do you remember Avengers, the movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what Hulk, Bruce Banner
Yeah,
said
when he had his,
in
yeah.
yeah? Okay, you remember in the scene where he dealing with the yoke in the plane and they arguing. And remember
Mhm.
he said, "I tried to kill myself, but it didn't let me." He talking about Hulk. Hulk is his protector to make him not do things. Also his curse, but also his protector. That's the same thing for Lightning. That's the same thing for John. Lightning is the protector of John, but also it's the curse of John. Because when he's gone, we see the spiral of going down for John. So yeah.
What do you what do you think is something key for athletes who are in that position or former athletes who are in that position for them to try to not fall kind of in that stereotypical spiral? Like, what is something that they should try to hold on to or try to remember about themselves if they don't feel like they have that cape anymore?
hmm You have to one, you gotta prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself because even if you make it to the highest level, the game will eventually leave. No matter what, you could be the next Jerry Rice, you could be the next Deion Sanders, you could be the next Brandon Marshall, Fred Taylor. Eventually, the game will leave. You have to find you something outside the sport that represent you. Because what happens is all I know is football, 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 football.
Hmm.
That's all I do. Eat, sleep, football, football, football. Then the football gone. So now I don't know what to do with this aggression. I don't know what to do with this energy. I don't know what to do with it because I don't know nothing outside the sport. I let the sport define me because you let the name because it's to the point like this. I forgot who said. I think I heard Ti said. He said, "You live for the cheers, you're gonna die by the booze." And you think about it, the thing on this level for the athlete is this: it always come against the athlete anyway by the average human being because they feel
Hmm.
like they get more stuff and they can slide through and get away with stuff, right? So now imagine that regular human being finally see them on the same level as them. They happy about it. They boom. Like, man, you ain't gonna be nothing. I told him, man, that boy wasn't gonna be nothing. He gonna go to no league. So you have to find yourself outside the sport because, like Tip said, if you live by the chill, you're gonna die by the booze. It's the same thing for an athlete. And you can see the point and go deeper. You live by the chill, you're gonna die when it's inside. When
Hmm.
nobody screaming your name no more, what you gonna do? Cause and then you gotta find something outside the sport also community wise because this as an athlete, if you have you because every athlete team have a who people they hang with. But most of the time people you hang with it motivates you to do better or do the same thing they doing on that level. So to the point, James, I see you pump 225, I'm like, man, I want to pump 245. It's a friendly rival. It makes me want to go hard. So now
Yeah.
imagine I'm outside the community of that is gone for me. The brotherhood is gone. I go back to my natural environment. I go home. It's nobody. It's my mom works all day. My dad work all day. Only person I might get at home is my older brother, son. Now people that smoke weed. But I'm saying like you know what I'm saying he smoke weed and get his money. All right, that's like okay, I can do that too. But now I'm at to the point, of dude that just do this all day. So to the point, I'm looking like, dang, why I can't do that all day?
Mm.
Because to the point, people say, oh, I'm not a follower. But yeah, I understand this. 85% of the world's followers, 10% say they're the leaders, and 5% are the true leaders that the 10% try to take out. So what happens is because the majority of people follow, it can be positive or negative. You might be in a positive community. And when it leaves, you go back to the negative community, you're gonna follow the same thing. So you have to find when you transition, you have to find a group of people as well that's on a movement of incline and positive energy than being a decline and not on nothing. And man, also just find yourself and just I say, man, like I said, can I buy forever? Who you talk to? Talk to the Lord, man. You gotta pray. You gotta have a relationship. That's the best thing I can tell somebody.
On that note, how big is it for like community? Even if it is within those like same brotherhood that you kind of had or like sisterhood that you had within the locker room and everything, like how big is it
Mhm.
for community to really still be intact for you once you make that transition?
A community is very important. It's like what I was saying in earlier. Your community is effective, has effect on you. Cause to the point your community can hate you or your community can support you. It can make or break you. It's to the point like this. I can come home, then make it to the league. Somebody see me, I like, hey man, you a good dude. I'm gonna get you a job. Or to the point is, you might be working now. You might get it. Unsay this. A bad community be like this. Get a nice job. Every time they see you, they say, man, you supposed to be a millionaire. You supposed to be a millionaire. Why you? But I'm working here. But now, as the person, as the athlete, it's something I learned psychology. I got a minor in it. It's this. In our past, you think about our past as depression. It's the future you think about as anxiety. Now, if I'm trying to go away from my past and go forward, but each person telling me I'm working a job to make $20 an hour, I'm doing hard labor, but somebody keep telling me I'm supposed to be a millionaire. How would that make you feel, James?
I mean, after a while, you start to feed into that. You start to feel like, yeah, I kind of was supposed to do that. Like your whole
Hmm.
mental just takes a downfall at some point.
Right? And to the point is this: it makes a person bitter. It makes them sour. It don't make them want to be around nobody. It makes them want to be
Hmm.
angry at the world. And when you really sit down and think about it, can I blame them? Because I think that any human being would do that. Because you keep bringing my past. I'm trying to live in the present.
Hmm.
And to the point, like in uh, the part of the rollout we did earlier, well, Can I Borrow Forever did, I had said a poem. but I have recorded and it's looking at the river. And we hear in the background as I talk, it's like water sound going, but it's getting louder and louder. And that one thing I said, man, I'm trying to find my way before the waves of the past come get me.
mm,
So it's saying the wave of the past is that it's to the point my wave of my past is drowning. And by the end of it, when I say, can I bow forever, oh Lord, I'm drowned. Because it represents to the point, it's like I'm trying to find myself, but my past. And to the point, and people bringing up my past. It's keep bringing them, not thinking about me current, not thinking about Matt. They thinking about football Matt.
mm,
And it brings the depression on somebody. It brings the depression of, I think I'm not worth nothing no more because I'm not playing the sport no more. It's people I know, man, they haven't played football in 6 years. They go to their family still asking they still play football. So think about that. And now think about to a point that somebody that's supposed to be the guy, the millionaire
mm,
off the
mm.
sport or basketball, anything, whatever sport you want to name. You think they ain't gonna do nothing to somebody? You think you ain't gonna hurt? You think that you won't think that man, it's not worth it? So it's it's deep, man.
On a little personal tip, um, for you, what made you decide to come down here to did you play? Well, you played for a little while at Mississippi College, but like, what made you just make that decision, come down here to play and continue your football career?
That's a that's a long story. So originally I transferred from I went to Westwood my 19th grade year. That's a two-way school down here in Memphis. After Memphis, after Westwood, I transferred to Whitehaven. So transferred from a two-way school to a six-day school. Whitehaven is a powerhouse. You um, it's like a real powerhouse, and definitely in the west side of Tennessee. Right now it's in the build-up time, but overall, forever, it's been that school. And I went there, man, played off and off. I was special team guy most of my time. Then played. I started half of my senior year, off and on. Originally on signing day, I signed to a school called Hiram College in Ohio, Division III school. I eventually didn't go. Went to a JUCO. Now it's NRA school. I was back to college. Went there for a semester. And then I came after my freshman year semester of my fall year. I transferred to Southwest Community College in Memphis, not in Mississippi. So I went
Mm,
there, kept my grades up. Then I walked on to University of Memphis, but I wasn't a preferred walk on. I was part of the White Shirt program. So during my time in the White Shirt program in Memphis, I got a call from Jackson State, not Prime Jackson State, before Prime.
yeah, that iteration
So
before. Yeah. Mm,
yeah, yeah. So I was with their coach staff. The coach that recruited me was Coach Mitchell. Coach Mitchell coached at Whitehaven before he went to Jackson State. Uh, so when I was about to transfer in spring, my the admission office lost my stuff. Like at Jackson State, they lost my admission, they lost my papers. So I stayed in Memphis. He just told me, "Hey man, do your grades, and you gonna come to Jackson State in the summertime." So remember I just said though, I was about to transfer in the spring of 2020. COVID hit. So when
mm,
COVID hit, now we stayed at home. He said, man, I was at Jackson State, but they said stay at home. So I stayed at home during the time period. Yes, in the fall, then that's when Whisper came around, Coach Prime came. It wasn't official yet, but you hear like little articles like that, Prime come,
yeah.
Prime comes. So
Yeah.
I called Mitchell. Mitchell told me like, hey, Prime come. So to the point, he was like, I possibly I'm staff, they're gonna keep me on the staff, but they're not gonna keep me on the staff. So they didn't keep him. So I was never officially on the roster, but I had like all the workouts, everything. So I got in the transfer portal, and my defensive coordinator, Coach Gilbert, he had called me. I still remember the day. It was a uh, it was the day after the Snowfall episode. Season 4 came out. We watched him. He called me. He said, "Man, I'm Coach Gilbert here at Mississippi College. I want you to come down here." Went down there. I was a PWO, preferred walk on. Went down there, met some great guys. Had to deal with politics. I'm not gonna count like I was best friend since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? You always on the bench, you know. But anybody that know me, they know I'm a good football player that work hard, not a hard worker that play football. And man, I met some great people down there: Jordan Mill, Jalen Woods, Calvin Sims, Chase Russ, Joshua Miller, Brock Rowland. A lot of great guys: Cole Simmons, Ridge Future. Met some great people down there, and they're gonna be my partners for life. So that's how I made Mississippi Cut.
I got you. For you, coming out of high school, did you already have an idea of what a post football career would be like?
No, 100% not. I didn't really find out what I was gonna do outside the sport until 2020 when I wrote the first script after watching Atlanta.
Hmm.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
got you. I got you.
Mhm.
um, how much of the work that you're doing now with these films? I'm not sure how much you're doing community wise and different things like that, but how much of the work what you're doing with this kind of like feeds a part of you still being an athlete?
He said question one more time.
Like the work that you're doing since at
Mm-hmm.
least the start of it, since a lot of it's like athlete based and the beginning of it's
Mm-hmm.
like football was like how much of it kind of like still like moves you, I guess, emotionally when it comes to being an athlete.
It moves me a lot. Still, man, it's even like you can see me speaking about it. I still have passion for it. There's no doubt about it. But the passion, man, because I've seen so many people that was highly athletic and didn't make nothing of themselves, and not because they were bad people. It was just bad vibes, or they didn't really
Mm-hmm.
know themselves outside the sport. And for me, it just feel like it's my duty, the best of my ability. The things I'm doing right now is to get the game back a year. Most times you hear a player could say this, a player would say, just in general, I don't use the football, but man, they can say, man, my coach got me ready for life, but they didn't get me ready for
Mm-hmm.
life without football. And you really sit down and think about it, it is true. Because like it might tell you, like, it might be over, but they don't never really give you the steps to do that. I can say for me, to my coach from middle school, Lawrence Britt. He was my eighth grade English teacher. I call him Coach Britt. First day of school, he asked, like, man, what y'all want to do? I said, no, that's a common eighth grade. I want to make it to the league. He said, it's cool now, but man, what's going to happen? You have an injury. And I could see by his demeanor, it wasn't like to the point to, it's on my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I see it was really talking to me, like, to the point. And I was a
Yeah.
boy, but man to man. He was like, man, what you going to do if it don't happen? And it had me thinking. It was like, dang, he got a point. Because to the point you don't never know. But uh that was really that. And it's just like man, I seen too many, man. I seen too many great ones. They didn't do nothing. And to the point because they didn't do nothing in football, they think they couldn't do nothing with life. Because like even like this with life. Originally we had dropped life on YouTube. I took it down because I'm gonna put it in the film festival. But the week that we originally dropped it, guess what happened next week? Just guess.
I'm assuming somebody that you know either got arrested or passed away.
To the point not knowing, but Kyron Lace. Happened a week later,
Uh, uh,
literally. A
that's
week
crazy.
later,
That's so crazy.
that happened. And when it happened, it had me not down. It had me not down bad, but it had me down. It had me down, not bad, bad, but it had me down bad. 'Cause to the point, I could feel it. How?
Mm-hmm.
But I could feel it. Not saying 'cause I'm not suicidal, nothing
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But for the character John Lightning, I had to get into that level. Understand what I'm saying? So to the point, I feel cuz like man, my life over. I can't do nothing. I ain't all I know is ball. Let me go on in. 'Cause I ain't nothing way out the game. it on a different level, and and it was to the point because of first it was to the point that passing of what I'm saying with lightning. His situation was that, but I was using it as a metaphor, a symbol of saying to the point. 'Cause like I said earlier, there's people still here, but
Mm-hmm.
they ain't here mentally. They ain't
Yeah.
here. They ain't here spiritually. And it's because they couldn't make it on the level they thought they were supposed to make it because of the sport they played. And people don't really understand that people really have identity crisis. People really lose people that love them because they didn't make it. They lose love, they lose family, they lose friends over this. To the point, some of them, they family still care for them, but in their head so messed up because they feel like they didn't make it in the court. They think nobody care about them no more.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand how deep and low you got to get to be like that. And man, I'm passionate about this because to the point is one is dealing with film, and I love film, and I gotta do my duty with it. I feel like it's to the point if I'm a creator and I say I make something, I gotta give it my all. I
Yeah.
can't excuse my language. I can't half ass it.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give it my all. So when we did the story, I gave it my all. I gave it the truth. Because in the art form, you can never tell a lie. Because you can see if it's true or lie. You can lie in your life, but you can't lie in the art form. We could look at them on the screen and say, he's acting. If that's the point, that means that's bad. Because he's not telling the truth. He's going off a sheet of paper. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And to the point, if I'm telling my truth, I'm telling the truth for the youth because nobody told us. Nobody told us, man, the game gonna end to the point if you don't really find yourself, you could go crazy. Nobody told us that. Nobody is the point. My life, I can say, only person that coach came to it is Lawrence Britt, aka Coach Britt. Only person that could say I can say that honestly told me that on a coach level from Pee Wee, middle school, high school, college. Only one coach told me. And I was lucky and blessed by God for him to come in my life. Some people don't have that opportunity because you gotta
Mm-hmm.
understand this game. And to the point, coach not wrong. They got to get you ready for football. Now you got some also Rodney Sarberry, my head coach at Whitehaven High School, had a conversation with me about transition as well, way before when I was in high school. Two coaches. But outside of that, nobody else did that. And these stories, I can man when a player going through something, they could be like, I'm not the only one. Because most times when we going through stuff like that, we feel like nobody can feel our pain. Nobody can
Mm-hmm.
understand us. But this right here saying I understand you. I feel you. You're not alone. It's to the point, man. One dog day, it's a light at the end. So this is what these films represent. That's what Can I Ball Forever represents. That's the tone of this whole thing. Give hope to the younger athletes, male or female, football, basketball, track, soccer, golf. It doesn't matter. You are something without the sport. You do the sport doesn't make you. You make the sport like that.
All right. Moving along on that note, getting back to the another film. How do you pronounce it again?
Euthanasia.
Okay, euthanasia. So in the second film, euthanasia has a little bit more of a psychological, darker tone to it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this one's like a true short in a certain sense, but it still
Mm-hmm.
deals with football in this aspect, and it has technically two characters, but really one main character and everything, where he goes through an event. Uh, I guess where he's at the moment now, where he's pushed himself to the edge and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
he felt the need to make a certain action and everything like that, and he can see the effect it plays in him initially as soon as it
Mm-hmm.
happens, and some of the some of the factors that he kind of has to deal with to try to throw it out of his head in a certain sense as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't get a chance to see a little bit afterwards. But we kind of see like that mental game of how things work when we had to try to figure out how to move past things and how to find coping mechanisms for them as well, or things
Mm-hmm.
that probably shouldn't be coping mechanisms as well. What made you
Facts.
decide to want to make this film?
Man, originally, I like this. I wrote this script a while back too. This one back in 2022, 21. And it originally came from the original idea came from Bun B. I watched an interview a long time ago, it's like 2000, 2019. Did an interview with Salat, Salib Kyle, I want to say the wrong name wrong. Salib Kylie. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah.
So if I said it wrong, I apologize. But I'm a big UGK fan. My favorite
Mm-hmm.
album is all my favorite rap album of all time. I can say they say you gotta listen to one album. It would be UGK Ride Dirty. Album that sold over 500,000 units. We had no radio play, nothing like that. In 1996. That's a major thing to do. But he asked the man like, "What do y'all make our music for?" He said, "Man, we make our music for folks. Man, that's one that it's never too late to get back get a relationship with God, no matter what." Or even to the, and the second thing he said is this: we make music for the folks, and when they get done doing some at night, they can settle themselves. Because it also deal with like relationship with God. Because man, to the point, if you gotta do any kind of act, it's not easy for people try to sing, make it. It's not easy to do a cool act and just go to sleep. You're not. It's gonna be a long night. And for euthanasia was this, euthanasia was this, and it's what it represents. The like saying the psychological mind. It's the same thing for an athlete. If you in space, it's quiet. Remember we said earlier, most people can't handle being quiet in the quiet
Yeah.
because you got to deal with everything that you've been thinking about with yourself. So you see in the film, he can't go to sleep. But each time you see him, he's doing some type of motion. He's
Mm-hmm.
draining himself out some type of way to get away from. And that what happens to people because man, we don't want to deal with it. So pop the pills, we smoke the weed, we drink to the point we might get a health to happen. We might work out all day. Some
Mm-hmm.
people they feel because of the things they did, they feel so dirty. They take showers all day. So it was to the point to represent the mental battle that you got to deal with at night. Cause man, when that night hit, and nobody around you, you in a room by yourself and four walls, and you looking at the ceiling, you looking at the fan, everything you think about that you try to run with from the whole day, it's gonna hit you right in the face. It's how you gonna deal with it. And to the point when you get to the ending, when you see what happens, the representative is this. Sometimes I have to end my old self to start back over, to start a new way. So the same thing. I'll tell you how it correlates. That's the same thing with the athlete. Cause to the point when you get to the end of being an athlete, you gotta remember right here, Matt Robinson. I'm
Yep.
still Matt. Football gone. He got to go. Still remember him, but do not hold on to him. So we get to the end, and that's what that represents. Because you can see it when that because the person that's playing is Aubrey Miller, Jackson State alumni. He's you see that he by the end of it, his eyes is closed with ease because he understands it's a new read, it's a new lead, it's a new me. The old me is gone. I had to do it. I had to end it. It was so painful to do, but I had to do it to move on. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Speaking a little bit more in depth about the film, um, What made you want to choose the music choice that you chose with it?
The whistle.
Yeah, like some of like musical elements or whatnot, or some of the little tidbits that like added to the effects of the scenes.
Like the whistle, that is a recording from 2022 that I had in my phone. So, man, I told you, I ain't start writing, I ain't started making films in 2023. In 2022, I was still in college. So, at MC, by Mississippi College, the health clinic. So,
Hmm.
every morning, I would wake up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. If I didn't have workouts, I would go to the health clinic, get in my car, and I go to the hot tub. I stretch my body out, relax it, and or get in the cold plunge, or get in the steam room, and
You can
that's how you
still
start my
talk.
day. Hmm.
My battery died. You're good. You can still talk.
Um, the cold tub. So it was this old white guy, and he used to be whistling songs all the time. And then one day I was in the steam room and I heard it, and I was like, man, record it, record it. I was like, man, it'd be cold to use in the film one day. And what happened? I was like, well, the whistle could represent like the what's going on in his mind. Like you wishing it, you trying to get away with it. You're trying to get your mind off of it, but it's still in your head. Even though you're trying to wish over it, it's still there. Um, understand we just want to use the natural kind of have this sound around the environment to speak for the person because it's to a point it's kind of a silent film because the character he doesn't say a word the whole film.
Hmm.
And sometimes the environment speaks for you. To the because I wrote that idea for something else that down the line I was gonna do, but I was like it matches. And also I was inspired by Rodney Ellis, a great filmmaker, photographer, and his things he done with Plenty Studios been doing the films he's been doing. I've been inspired by. I've been to uh three of his showings. And I was like, I want to try to make a silent film myself, and that's how it all came to play with silence and using to the point his environment around him to uh to explain the story. Mhm.
What would you say? Um, what would you say is something that even current athletes, I know to a certain degree, you might not have as big of a depth because you're not necessarily a professional or semi-professional. But what do you think is something that they should attempt to do when it comes to finding spaces that they can be cool in when they're like by themselves, when they can quiet their minds, and they can try to find useful coping mechanisms that won't hurt them from being able to continue to play and things of that nature, deteriorate their health.
Mhm. First thing I would say, read. Honestly, read. Reading is a big thing. During my whole time, like my transition, or before my transition during 2020, when I was getting preparing for my transition, when I was getting writing, I read a lot. Reading done has done so much for me. Uh, out of self educating myself. Read books like Elijah Muhammad, Mr. the Black Man, um, Soul on Ice. What else? Revolution Suicide by here, P. Newton. Jonah Berger with his books Catalyst, the Contagious, The Visible Attraction. Just a couple books I read during that time period that helped me. One of the main books was The Art of Communication, great book to read. And outside of that, you gotta have a relationship with God. You gotta have a relationship with God. Because at the end of the day, when you're in that room by yourself, you gonna have to talk, you gonna have to pray to him. Because man, it's gonna seem like it's nothing else to it. Also, I say really have find therapy. Find therapy that could really help you. Like currently now, I'm finally going to therapy, or finally about to go to therapy. Um, I got a minor in psychology, so I understand it. But now I'm taking more steps of going to therapy myself. Um, one thing, know your history about your family. It really, when you really sit down and think about it, I can say because I know the history and I know my family and I know the history of my family, it made me not want to do certain acts because I represent a
Mm-hmm.
name. You know what I'm saying? My name Matt Robinson. And to a point, some people they say they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a Robinson boy," or they be like, "Oh, that's Robinson," but they say it's Matt. So sometimes people see me, they're like, "You're a Robinson," huh? And they can look at my face because we kind of all look similar. So know your family history, know where you come from, and to a point, sometimes the things that your family did before you and the things that they came from, it make you want to sit back and say, "Man, I don't want to mess this up or put a tarnish on the name." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like on my mom's side, my grandfather, his name is James Robinson. And knowing my grandfather's story, like, he passed 2018. But what my grandfather did, it always motivated me. My grandfather's family was born on sharecropping land. They worked at the land, the whole thing. My granddad left, went to Memphis. Him and my grandma and got married, lived in Memphis, moved to South Memphis, moved to a house in Whitehaven, then eventually moved like a two-story house in the Whitehaven area by the end of his life. To some people, that's nothing. Up to the point people don't understand like what that means for coming being
Yeah.
born on sharecropping
Yep.
land and then having a two-story house. And to a point, my grandfather loved his grandchildren and his children, but he loved his grandchildren. He showed his love and gave anything he can for us. So he like my father's side too. That because of their name, it made me I represent it. So when you know your family history and know things about it, it makes you want to do better. It makes you say, I
Mm-hmm.
can't go out this way. But if you don't know nothing about it, or to the point you don't see the positive of it, it's easy to do, you know, things that's not the best thing to do. Um, and that's about it. That's all I can tell somebody. And that's about it on that one.
All right. So the third film that you'll be having there, you mentioned it earlier. Was it a "What Can I Wear"?
What I'm going to wear.
What am I going to wear? Can you speak
Mm-hmm.
just a quick synopsis about what that film is about?
The quick synopsis is this it's to the point, like it's like you the neighbor. It's a one place set, but they do it's a talk, but it is a psychological battle. That's the best way to explain it. It's a psychological battle between two people. One is true, one is false, but nobody knows who's the truth, and nobody knows who's false. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, that's if I get a glimpse of that, that's the glimpse of it. It's psychological, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't know who's the truth and you don't know what's the false. You don't know who's the truth and you don't know which one's the false.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Cool. And is it just those three films, or will it be a fourth film that'll be during
The,
this showcase?
the fourth one is what I'm going to wear. That was
Okay.
originally supposed to be part of the rollout, but man, shout out to my partner. I co-directed it with my partner Miles. Miles says, dog. I don't want to say Miles name wrong. I think it's Miles Glover. Yeah, Miles Glover. If I say the wrong Miles, I apologize. I call him Miles all the time. I don't call him nothing else. But Miles, my partner, man, he co-directed it with me. It was supposed to be part of the rollout. Like it's supposed to be content. But when we got done shooting it, we looked at it. That was like we still dropping content. I said, man, I ain't gonna lie, this stuff hard. Cause he did most of the camera work and everything. Cause I had to star in this. I had to play in it too. I'm not trying to be no actor director. I just gotta do it right now. I promise you, I'm not trying to be no actor. Um, but man, it was so cold because we ain't like cut a grade yet when we was doing it, and I was like, man, this shit too hard. Excuse my language. I was like, man, this shit hard. I told him, I said, bro, this gotta be part of the show. And so yeah, that's the fourth film. That film is a conversation between two players. One is both are telling the truth, but one of them, his truth is like, I gotta let it go. He say, bro, I know the game. I know the truth about the game. I know the game don't really care for me, but I can't go. I can't leave it alone. Because if I leave it alone, I'm gone. So yeah, that's the base of the fourth of what I'm going to wear. Co-directed by me and my partner Miles. Uh, I'm saying Miles Love. I think that's. I hope I'm saying it right.
And just to remind everybody again, this showcase because you have 2 dates. It's
Mm-hmm.
November what and December what?
All right. So doing it's called Can I Ball Forever? It's a sewing slash exhibit. Will be at the Medicine Factory at 85 West Virginia Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee on November 29th. That's after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. So your little money you got left over, go on spend your little 15. Come down there, come hang with us, buy some Daily Village, come watch some film, go to the exhibit. You get three pieces. You get three things. You feel me? So come on, come down to the Memphis, come down 55 north. Hold on. Yeah, 55 north.
Yeah, that's north. Yeah.
Come 55 north. Come straight up that line. You did. Come up there on November 29th. Then if you can't make it, then you know what I'm saying. You might got too much Thanksgiving food in your stomach. Come on December 6th. That's the next Saturday. $15 a ticket. How you gonna beat it? When the movie costs 20 at the theater. We gonna show you a exhibit as well. Like, come on. You come out there, have a good time, and I promise you won't regret
All right. Is there anybody that you wanted to make sure that you shouted out that kind of work with you, or anybody that you wanted to specifically talk about with a 38109 Village?
it. Man, I'm gonna give special shout out to Black Hawk, aka Devin Martin. Got his own stuff called Black Hawk Visuals. Rodney Ellis, a person that I respect in this film stuff. On a couple people my age group that I really look at and watch their films, be like, man, I want to make something like that. He's one of them. He on top of that list. Like I said, Miles, my partner Miles, dope cinematographer, all that. I respect what he do. Shout out to my partner Jalen Smith, and the list go on and on. I ain't got time to tell everybody, but everybody that knows something, they know that I respect them, love them, and thank you for supporting us, and thank you for having me on here as well.
All right, good deal, man. Thank you once again for allowing me to help a part of this promo run and everything like that. And like you said, November 29th and December 6th, both Saturdays. Look for more information about it. They can follow you on Instagram or the 38109 Village page itself on Instagram. Do you have a website too? Or
Yeah, the website to get the ticket is at 38109 Village dot ticketspice dot com. Also, you want to catch up on the stuff we done in the past, just look up 38109 village.com and you see everything that we done in the past. And that's about all. And follow us at 38109 Village on Instagram. Also, my personal is at Matt with two T's dot Rob ROB 99 underscore. And that's about it.
appreciate you, man. Make sure y'all show up for them and show up to the showcases as well.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you.